Sometimes when we hire expert help, we don't end up getting what we wanted and are left with something we don't even know what to do with. This is fairly obvious when the expert's a personal stylist or decorator. Anyone remember the straw wall on Trading Spaces? There are many ways things can get derailed, but listen in to this episode of Leverage Your Spark to learn how to avoid the most common reason. Welcome to Leverage Your Spark. I'm Brandy Lawson. A failed expert engagement can be less obvious when it's something in business. Sure, maybe it's a clear disaster, but most of the time it just feels off and the work doesn't meet your needs. The most common cause here is one I call the expert SteamRoller. Typically, the expert comes in with the best of intentions. They've done this for someone before, they know how it's going to work, and instead of taking the time to discover your needs and nuances, truly understand the results you're after, they arrive with a set agenda. The really challenging thing here is that this type of expert tends to have very slick marketing. When delivering only a set thing, it's pretty easy to package it up and put a lovely bow on it. So the client gets sold a result they're interested in, but maybe it's not exactly the result needed, or it's not delivered in a way that's useful for their particular business or organization. Then when the expert's done and the engagement's over, the expert thinks they've done a great job, and the client's left with something that doesn't add value. The whole point of hiring an external agency or expert is to engage with someone with more knowledge than yourself and grow, improve, or add capacity. Pretty much if you've listened to any episode this season, you've heard me say this. When you get an expert SteamRoller, you don't achieve any of those things. More often than not, you end up with an asset that doesn't fit your business. You've spent time and energy on something that's not adding value, and then you have to go through the additional resource drain of dismantling it or attempting to work with it before any benefit can be felt. Ugh. Interested in getting more value from the experts you hire? At Fiery Effects, we know a thing or two about getting the most from working with experts. Plus, we're experts in strategy, websites, analytics, smart business, and technology. Find out how to benefit from hiring an expert by booking a consult with us at fieryeffects.com/experts. The big question is, how do you avoid expert steamrollers? First, when you're looking to hire, be careful of really polished marketing. Credit here to Tara Newman, who says you can tell the real experts by their crappy marketing. And in my experience, this holds up. When someone is really in touch with delivering high-value service, they're caught up in the how and the quality and the best way to do things, and it's actually pretty difficult for them to step back and put on the marketing view. Now, that's not to say that quality services don't have great marketing. It's just one of those signals to be extra diligent. Next, tune in to the ability to listen. The best external agencies and experts to hire will actually help you figure out what you need so they know the right problem to solve. And this requires serious skill around asking questions and listening carefully. If your expert spends 90% of the time talking, this is a warning sign of a steamroller. If your expert asks intelligent, probing questions and spends at least 50% of the time listening, these are the hallmarks of an expert or external agency that's able to help you identify what you need and then apply their expertise accordingly. A common place where I've seen people encounter expert steamrollers is around technology choices, especially in the realm of websites. We've heard from many teams and businesses that have a technology choice dictated to them for a website, and then they have a really hard time using it or getting any value from it at all. A usual suspect here is WordPress. Now, WordPress is fantastic. We use it all the time, but it's not the right choice for every website. Many teams who've been handed a WordPress site have struggled with it because it was created for them without understanding how they needed to use it. In the case when you get handed a piece of technology that's not configured for your use case and it doesn't fit with how you need to work, it can be wildly frustrating. The reason this is a place where expert steamrollers are regularly encountered is because they know how to do it on a particular platform. Truth of the matter is, there's a lot of good platforms out there. The quote-unquote best one is completely dependent upon what you're trying to achieve with your website, the business outcomes you want, and the resources and constraints inherent with your specific business. When you can identify a potential expert steamroller early, you can either avoid hiring the wrong person or get really clear on how to work with them. As a client, you have the right and obligation to say no when something is not a fit. The expert has the obligation to listen, understand, and help you find the right outcomes, and in a way to get there that works for you, your organization, and your team. The fun's not done yet. In the next episode of Leverage Your Spark, we continue talking about how not to work with an expert. And we're still talking about steamrollers, but it's when the client is the steamroller. Are you guilty? Did you enjoy this episode? Know someone else who'd benefit from listening? Don't be shy. Share and subscribe at leverageYourSpark.com.